Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Minhajul Abidin, The Best Way for the Seekers of God by Hujjatul Islam Imam Al-GHAZZALI Raliyallahu ta'ala anhu. Chapter 3, Section 1, How to Refrain from and Give Up Sins. There are three kinds of sins. Number 1, to abandon the obligatory duties imposed by Allah. Example, prayers, fasting, zakat, etc. These must be discharged to the best of one's ability and at any cost. Number 2, those sins which are between Allah and His servants. Examples, rights of Allah, including drinking wine, music, eating usury, etc. Every effort should be made to refrain from this and to take a resolve not to commit these sins in the future. Number 3, those sins that relate to the servants of Allah, which are most harmful of all the remaining sins. For example, to cause harm to anyone's life, anyone's property, honor, or faith. In case of causing any harm to anyone's wealth and property, if possible, the loss should be made good to the claimant by payment of compensation. If payment of compensation for the loss is not possible in this way because of poverty, the claimant should be requested to waive his claim. If the claimant is not traceable or is dead, the amount of the claim should be spent on charity on his behalf. If this too is not possible, the debtor should do more and more good deeds and turn to exalted Allah with a prayer to satisfy the claimant on the day of judgment. If he has killed anyone, the heirs of the victim will have the right to receive ransom money for the murder. They can either recover this ransom money or waive it. In case the heirs are not traceable, it is necessary for the murderer to pray to Allah and crave forgiveness for his sin, so that on the day of judgment, exalted Allah may, by His mercy, make the victim become pleased to waive his right against the murderer. If the man has injured anyone's honor and dignity by backbiting, abusing him, or by casting slur on the victim, this may be made good by admitting the sin and his falsehood and seeking the victim's pardon. This course may be adopted only when there is no likelihood of a worsening and deteriorating situation being created. In such a situation, the only alternative remains that exalted Allah should be implored and involved to make the victim of the excess pleased with the sinner. If a person has attacked and disgraced the honor of anyone, that is, he has committed a breach of trust with someone's children or wife by making a criminal assault on them, it is not advisable to disclose such sins to the guardian or to the husband. This is to avoid a possible occurrence of enmity and corruption. In such a situation, the sinner should pray to exalted Allah in favor of the victim of his excesses. In case there is no likelihood of the occurrence of enmity and corruption, the sinner may disclose such cases to prevent the excitement of enmity and feeling of revenge. If the sin relates to someone's religious issue, example, the sin of attributing kufr, disbelief, to a Muslim, or bid'ah, innovation, or straying to the follower of sunnah, then it is necessary to seek forgiveness from the victim and to inform him of the sin committed against him, as this is a very heinous sin. If this is not possible, the exalted Allah should be involved sincerely with a prayer to make the victim pleased with the sinner. To sum up the discussion, it is necessary as far as possible to repay the dues of the claimants. Where this is not possible, one should turn to exalted Allah with true and sincere repentance for the sins and excesses committed, so that He may by His grace make the victim pleased with and kind to the sinner. However, all this depends on the sweet will of Allah. It should, however, be hoped that He, in His infinite mercy and compassion, will make the claimant pleased with and be kind to the sinner when he finds in the sinner's heart sincerity and a genuine and true desire for forgiveness. If you have fulfilled the conditions I have prescribed for repentance and have acted upon various other items concerning it and have made a firm resolve not to commit sins in future, Allah will forgive your past sins, except sins relating to the rights of Allah and the rights of His servants, for which you shall remain liable. This is a very lengthy topic which cannot be discussed in detail on these pages. For more details and useful information, you may read the chapters on the Book of Tawbah, the Book of Nearness to Allah, and the Book of the Final Goal of my book Ihya al-Ulumuddin. Here I have stated only the more important and necessary topics.